What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down the difference between Division I wide receivers and Division III wide receivers. So I hope this video helps you guys out. Hope it could teach you a few new things, but also, fellas, if you are a wide receiver and would like to train with us this offseason, we are going to be coming out to 6 more states across the U.S. for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver camps. Next up on our camp tour, we'll be coming out to Cleveland, Ohio, and Austin, Texas. Both of those camps are completely sold out, but then we'll be heading out to Seattle, Newark, Denver, and Los Angeles, California. So if you guys want some more information on that, how you could sign up to train with us 2 whole days of work, fellas, check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you out to one of our off-season camps. Let's get started with this video. So now, how we're going to be breaking down this video is we're going to be showing some clips from, just a random wide receiver who plays at the Division III level currently. This is some high school highlights, and then we're going to be comparing him to a wide receiver who plays at the Division I level, what some of the differences are. Because when you think about the wide receiver position, it's one of the most competitive, overcrowded positions in all of football, right? There's 4 wide receivers on the field usually at a given time. You think about how many high schools there are across the country, and then you think about how many actual receivers are on the team, number one, and then you compare all those together. What makes some of those guys stand out at the Division I level, the Division I coaches, and some other guys not? So this first player, we're looking at this wide receiver at the top of the screen. And this is the first play on his highlight tape, right? So obviously when you guys are trying to play college football, your highlight tape is what's going to get you recruited, right? It's all about what you can showcase on film. Not a lot of college coaches care about 7-on-7. Not a lot of college coaches care about what you can do in t-shirt and shorts. They care about this setting, 11-on-11 full pads. So as a wide receiver, you should be really concerned with doing 2 specific things with your highlight tape. Number 1, you have to be concerned with making explosive plays. And then number 2, you have to make big plays. You have to make explosive touchdowns, right? So this is the first clip on his highlight tape. This is a good play, right? He's catching this ball downfield. He's catching it in traffic. But again, there's not a ton of separation. Receiver gets grabbed, gets tackled, gets dragged down. It's not like he's exploding and breaking a couple tackles and going to score, showcasing his speed, right? Now, again, this is a great play, great catch downfield. This wide receiver, maybe has size, maybe he runs good routes, but there's a difference when you compare him to those Division I, sometimes even those 4-star, 5-star guys. Stars don't necessarily matter, but again, you see a lot of these 4, 5-star guys like we're about to look at right here have these types of plays on their film. And this is what college coaches at the highest level are looking for. They're looking for explosive plays. So this is a 5-star wide receiver, Brandon Innes, out of Broward County, Florida, or South Florida, I believe. I don't know if it's Broward County, but he's going to Ohio State. And this is the first play on his highlight tape. So let's watch this and let's see the difference here. So he's running a deep post. Again, both plays are deep routes downfield, but this showcases his speed. This showcases him making a big play. This is an explosive touchdown. These are the types of plays on film that a college coach is going to want to see. Because again, there are thousands of receivers across the country like we talked about. A lot of them are very tall. A lot of them are very fast. A lot of them are great athletes, right? So what's going to make you stand out? And it's these types of plays. You look at any wide receiver that's playing at the highest level, like any wide receiver that's committed to Alabama or committed to Ohio State, USC, they all have these types of plays all over their highlight tape. So explosive plays is what you should be looking for if you're trying to be able to play at that Division I level. Now, again, listen, there's nothing wrong with playing Division III football. There's nothing wrong with playing NAIA, Division II. If you get your school paid for and that's a goal of yours, great, that's totally fine. This is just the difference because a lot of people wonder why, I'm going to all these camps, I do all this training, I'm 6 foot, I'm tall enough, I'm fast enough, and why am I not getting the recruiting attention that some other guys are getting? Usually it's what they can do on film. All these top tier guys, see all the top level college wide receivers, what do they all have in common? They're all great football players when it matters, and that's when the pads are on. So what are some examples of explosive plays, right? Obviously catching a deep post downfield where you're just outrunning the entire defense. That's an explosive play. What are some other examples? What should you be more concerned with putting on your highlight tape? So maybe, a quick slant where you catch a slant and instead of just running up 10 yards and getting tackled, maybe we catch a quick slant and we break a tackle and go take it 60 yards for a big gain or a touchdown, right? Maybe this ball, it's like a 50-50 ball. You go up and make a play and catch a ball over the top of a DB. You catch a ball while you're getting hit All of those plays are plays that college coaches don't expect you to make. A lot of times wide receivers, they'll put their highlight tape and they'll have, it'll be a 9-10 minute long highlight tape and it's all routine plays, fellas. You shouldn't include every single play that you make on the year in your highlight tape. You should include the best, most explosive plays. And the top tier guys like Brandon Inniss, who we were just watching, you watch some of his highlight tapes, they're like 3 minutes long because that's all it needs. A college coach is going to know within probably 5 plays if you're cut out to play at the level that he is coaching at, especially Division I, especially a Power 5 guy. So now, as the game progresses, right, offenses continue to progress. So you're going to be put in a lot of situations where you get one-on-one, man-to-man coverage as a wide receiver at the next level. So college coaches are starting to look more so for guys who can run great routes. I think every single top tier, 5-star wide receiver in this past year's class was a great route runner. They know how to create separation. They know how to get open. Because again, so many college offenses are switching to that spread air raid system where they're throwing the ball 50 times a game, right? Well, maybe not 50, but like 30, 40 times guaranteed, right? So you're going to get a lot of one-on-one opportunities due to that offense. Can you separate? Can you create space? And that's what's going to get a college coach's eye, especially if you're at a camp setting, especially on film. Those are the types of things they're looking for nowadays. So let's look at this example here. This is the same wide receiver that we were talking about. He currently plays at the Division III level. He's doing this release, man coverage. He's running a fade, and he does the right thing, attacks the DB's leverage, but there's just that, it's a good play downfield. That's like a tough catch, I would say, 50-50 ball, maybe I guess you could consider. But again, he got separation. He did the right thing with his release, but there's something missing there. There's not enough explosion. There's not enough of where he's actually threatening the DB to the inside, giving him a good move off the ball. There's not much explosion. Like I said, he does the right things. He attacks the DB's leverage, and he's open. He makes a great catch. It's a great play downfield. But are there a lot of receivers that could probably do that across the country? Absolutely, right? There are probably a ton of wide receivers who could do that exact same thing across the country. So now, this is a clip here, same exact route. This is Brandon Inniss at the Army All-American Bowl, I believe, and this is him running the exact same route, doing a similar release, right? Because the situation is they both had inside shade press coverage, right? This is more like catch technique where there's some space, so it's even harder to get separation like this, and they have to run a fade. So a lot of novice wide receivers, a lot of beginner guys, when they see inside leverage and they have to run that fade, they'll just take off and go run to the outside, which, again, that's not what you want to do because the disciplined DB is going to get right into your hip and squeeze you all the way to that sideline. That's where a lot of wide receivers get in trouble because, again, that's eventually not going to work. You get a lot of big, fast wide receivers at the high school level who are just bigger and faster than everybody, and they can do that. But when you're playing a top-tier DB, you can't do that. So it's more than just attacking his leverage inside, because the goal is to attack his leverage. When he's inside shade, your goal is to angle your release to the inside, to get him to move, to get him to hold his leverage, because that's his responsibility, which gives us more space to the outside. But it's more than just attacking his leverage. We have to actually threaten his leverage. So let's watch what Inniss does here. So he comes off the ball, and you see the difference in like explosion. There's a difference there in the amount of twitch that he has on his release, right? It's not just, okay, let's go at him and then just take off and run, right? And that might work, but it's go at him, let's attack his leverage, and let's actually throw a cut to the inside. Let's throw a hard jab. Let's sell with my hips, sell with my shoulders to make this DB think I'm running a slant. Rather than just having him sit there, let's actually get him to move to the inside. And that is how you separate. That's how you separate off the line if you're running a comeback, a 5-yard out, a corner, whatever it might be. You need to make sure that we sell. So we can play this back. Look at the difference in releases here. You see how it's kind of slower. He stems him inside for sure, but there's not much explosion. He's not selling a cut. Then we look at Inniss. There's a clear-cut difference. And that's usually in terms of route running, in terms of quickness, speed. That's the difference between those D3 and D1 type guys. They have so much more quickness, agility, explosiveness, and that's what you should be trying to strive for. Because again, like I said, there's nothing wrong with playing a lower division level of college football. It's still college football. It is still extremely challenging. It is still something to be definitely proud of. You just need to make sure that you understand the difference and what a college coach is looking for specifically. Because again, maybe you have some of these traits that like a D1 guy has, but maybe you're just simply undersized, right? Like maybe you're like 5'8", you're maybe not the fastest guy in the world. You still want to play college football. And again, like size is just, you can't really control it. But you have these certain aspects of your game, like explosive plays, you have the twitch off the line, you know how to run routes. Those things can stand out to even a lower division level coach. If that's your goal to play there, it's very, very easy to get those guys' attention. Because again, those guys are usually the ones having to reach out to players. Because every single, let's say, for example, your dream is to go play at like USC or something like that. Every single coach on their staff probably has an inbox for emails and a DM inbox that is just completely full because everybody wants to go to those schools, right? But like, let's say you have pretty solid film and, maybe you think I'm not the biggest D1 guy, or maybe your plan is to go to a lower school, then transfer out after, prove that you can play, whatever it is. You reach out to a D2, D3 coach, those guys aren't getting DMs all the time. They're not, because nobody wants to go to those schools right off the bat. That's not their first choice. Everybody wants to go play D1. So if that's your goal, just go play, get your school paid for, go play in college. Trust me, if you have those types of plays on your film and you reach out to those guys, it's one of the easiest ways to get any kind of recruiting attention. Okay, so now next thing I want to talk about here is that all of these top tier Division I guys are great athletes. So this is Brandon Ennis here, and you guys are probably wondering why he's lined up as a quarterback in this case. And again, this is not a wildcat formation. He legitimately played quarterback for his team in high school for a year. Or maybe like half the year, I would say. But there's a lot of quarterback film. There's film of him throwing the ball, etc. Now, why am I showing you this? Because he's a wide receiver. And this video is about wide receivers. But like I said, all great wide receivers, especially at the high school level, are great athletes as a whole. You know what Division I college coaches want? They want athletes. They know where you're going to fit in best in their program. But they want guys who are playing everywhere. They want guys who are playing special teams, defense. If you got to play quarterback, play quarterback. Like, there are chances to make explosive plays. And look at this. He makes a guy miss. He makes a sharp cut up field. He's running zone read. Like, that maybe doesn't show that he's the greatest quarterback, but that damn near shows that he's a great athlete. And that's what a college coach wants. So this guy's a receiver, but he's a great athlete. They put him as a quarterback. He's making people miss. He's hitting throws. He's returning punts. He's on defense getting interceptions. Like, this is a true athlete. And that's what those Division I guys want on their team. They want the best athletes possible. So if you're a guy who's sitting there and you're a wide receiver, like let's say you're a wide receiver, you want to play college ball, and maybe your quarterback isn't that good, or maybe you're in a run-heavy offense, or just maybe you don't get that many targets. It's just part of it. It's part of playing the wide receiver position. It can be very lonely at times. Play other spots on the field. Play special teams. That's opportunities to make explosive plays. Because again, explosive plays aren't just what you can do as a wide receiver. It's what you can do when you're on the field at any time. So return punts, return kicks, get on punt returns. Just get on the field. Play defense. Because again, a college coach knows where you're going to fit in best. If you're not truly a natural DB, but you have explosive plays and you play wide receiver, he's probably going to think, wow, this guy's a great athlete. I would love to see what he can do as a wide receiver. Maybe he just, and then they start looking into it. Okay, they didn't throw the ball that much. Okay, their quarterback's not that good. I wonder if we could get a steal here with this guy. Is every single college coach wants to find that steel diamond in the rough. So again, fellas, make sure you are making plays everywhere. Do not be that guy that's just one-dimensional. I'm just a receiver and you don't play anything else. Because every single chance you're on the field, it's an opportunity to make plays. The only exception would be if you play quarterback, or maybe if you're a lineman. If you're a quarterback, I don't recommend playing like linebacker or DB or anything. You're just strictly a quarterback. But if you're a receiver, and that's what this video is about, you should try to get on the field wherever they need you and wherever you can play the most. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. Always appreciate the feedback. It's always great to hear from you guys. And again, fellas, if you would like to come out and train with us in 6 more states this offseason, our next 2 camps are sold out. The remaining 4 will sell out probably by the end of this month. So check out that very first link in the description below if you guys would like some more information and how you can sign up. I'll see you guys next time.